Welcome to Takeover, the most underrated sports debate show on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for our weekly sports content.
As you guys already know, my name is Josh.
My name is Deandra.
It's your boy Cam, and this is Takeover.
We play it all in night. Need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind out the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Nothing holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm facing. When I roll a paper, I like to go double. Run up a check, flip a W, make it an M. I need a couple.
So, the Ncaa tournament brackets are finally finalized. We finally know the 68 teams that are going to be fighting for the supremacy of March. The current number 1 seeds are Michigan, Gonzaga, Illinois, and Baylor. Which one of these number 1 seeds do you think has the best chance of making it to the Final Four?
Well, in my opinion, I think Illinois really has a good chance to go to the Final Four because they're playing their best game as of right now at the best time. And they started off looking a little questionable, but as of their last 12 games, they're 11-1 right now. They're the 7th most efficient on offense and the 5th most efficient on defense. And to me, they're one of the most balanced teams in college basketball overall, if you ask me. You got Ayo Dosunmu. He plays really aggressive. He's averaging 21 points. He gives 100% every single game. And he's a national player. He's a National Player of the Year candidate for sure. You got Kofi Coburn. He's averaging 17 points, and he's one of the best big men in college basketball as of right now. You have Trent Frazier. He's shooting real nice from the 3 right now, and I if I'm correct, he's shooting at least 30% from 3 as of right now. And a couple of players that I think go overlooked just a little bit from Illinois are their freshmen. You have Andre Corbello and Adam Miller, and they really stepped up when Dosunmu was injured, and they really got the team going, and they were able to make those shots in clutch situations. And although we know Baylor and Michigan are really good teams, but we know everyone's really going to be looking at Gonzaga, however you want to say it, because they're undefeated. So they're the team to beat as of right now. But some of their weaknesses that I noticed is that they struggle against downhill guards sometimes, and their bigs don't really protect the rim as well as they should sometimes. So, and I feel like Illinois really has the elements, and they really have the team that can really pick at those weaknesses. And I just feel like Illinois is battle tested, and I feel like they got the big win over Michigan, and also they have those young players that are able to come through in clutch situations as well. And when you have a guard, when you have a leader like Ayo Dosunmu, and you have a big man, a Kofi Coburn, and someone who can shoot the 3, and also you have people that can come off the bench and really be productive, that's really good as well. So not only do I think that they could go to the Final Four, I believe they could win the chip as well.
Although I think Illinois will be there, if I had to bet on a team that would have to go to the Final Four, it would have to be Gonzaga. And here's why. You look at the other number 1 seeds, look at Baylor. They're great on the defensive side of the ball. They're the best team shooting the ball wise. But down the stretch, they like they've struggled. They've been shaky. There's holes in that defense, and their offensive game gets stagnant sometimes. They're able to blow leads. And you look at where they rank in rebounding. They're 280th in the country. And when you look at that, rebounding is a hustle thing. It's not necessarily you can do anything talent-wise. So those are the type of things that can get you beat by a lower seed because they're just out-hustling you. You look at Michigan. The injury to Isaiah Livers really hurts them. That was like their best player, second leading scorer on the team. How are they going to replace that gap? And the East is no joke. You got Alabama over there, LSU, Georgetown, Colorado. Illinois, I think they're going to be there in the top 4. So I don't really have anything to say about them. I think they've started off hot. They're a really deep team as well. A lot of those players coming off the bench are really solid coming off of Illinois. So I think they'll be in that Final Four. But if I had to bet, I'd pick Gonzaga because you have to look at their whole entire body of work. We only think that they're going to lose because they haven't yet, if you really think about it. Because, I barely see any weaknesses on this team. They've beaten everybody but one team over double digits. They rank first in the Ncaa in points. They have the best point guard in the league in Jalen Suggs, putting up 14, 5, and 4. And I think they have the easiest bracket, not to mention he has players around him, Corey Kispert and Drew Timme. I think those guys put up numbers, and I think they're going to end up making it to the Final Four.
Most of what you just said was true, except for the part where you said that Jalen Suggs was the best point guard in the nation. Ayo Dosunmu out of Illinois. That man is the best point guard.
If he runs into Jalen Suggs, we'll find out.
Jalen Suggs is going to be a great NBA player for a very long time. But if we're talking about specifically right now in college basketball, I'm going with Ayo. Because Ayo is a first-team All-American, putting up 20.7, 6.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.1 steals on 488, 388, 782 splits. He has been that guy for Illinois. He has hit big shots in multiple games this year. And we saw when he went out, the team struggled. Now, they didn't do as bad as you would have thought, but that's partially because they got Kofi Cockburn down there in the paint, putting up 17 and 9. So they got to deal with that. But the biggest thing that I'm looking at when I say that I think Illinois is going to be the most likely to make it is I'm looking at the matchups in the region that they're facing. Because really it comes down to who do you run into, right? So for the same reasons that you said you're not buying Michigan and Baylor, I'm not buying them either. Baylor is way undersized down there, and their one true big man has been hurt and I think sick. And Michigan just lost their best shooter, which takes away from what Hunter Dickinson can do in the paint. So, and not to mention they've got some tough regions too. But Gonzaga, in their region, they're gonna have to face either Missouri or Oregon or USC or UVA or Iowa or Kansas. That's a pretty stacked roster when you look at it. Kansas might be down, but Kansas is still Kansas. Kansas still got 5 stars all over there. Iowa is the second best offense in the league, and they got Matt Garza, which is the one guy that can give Drew 10 problems. They got USC, who I think is underseeded at 6 personally. I think Evan Mobley is that guy. And UVA always plays great defense, no matter who they have. But when you look at who Illinois got to go up against, arguably, in my humble opinion, the toughest matchup that they might have is who they play in the second round. Because whoever comes out of Loyola, Chicago, Georgia Tech, that team is going to be hungry, and they're both dogs on defense. But their number 2 seed there is Houston. Houston has been weak this year. Honestly, they're not what I would think when I see a number 2 seed. West Virginia is solid. Miles McBride is a great player, but and then other than that, you've got Oklahoma State, which is a one-man team, and then San Diego State, who doesn't have Malachi Flynn, so they're not nearly what they were last year. I'm putting my money on Illinois because I think after the second round, I don't think they're going to be challenged as much as they would be in that game.
We will see. Everyone's a buzzer beater away.
I'm saying, just wait. A 5 seed's going to win. Creighton's going to win now because of this.
The MLB season is right around the corner. Speculation is looming about who will be in the World Series. So I got to know, guys, what are your World Series predictions as of right now?
Well, let me keep it this way. First of all, in the American League is shallow. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. And anybody out there that's an American League fan, if you disagree with me, you're blinded by fandom. They only have 3, I would argue, true contenders. One of them, in the New York Yankees, is insanely injury-prone, and I have very little faith in them because Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge are guaranteed to miss at least 50 games every year. And Luis Severino, we haven't seen him pitch it forever. And then when it comes to the White Sox, I think, are too new. I don't think that they made a lot of moves. They brought in a lot of new pieces. I don't think it's going to gel immediately, especially since they've got such a massive contrast between the style of their young players and the manager they have now, Tony La Russa, who is on record saying that bat flips are bad for the game of baseball. So I don't know how that's going to work with those two because Tony's going to find some way to suspend Tim Anderson, and Tim Anderson's going to demand a trade. So I'm going with the Oakland Athletics. Simply because I think they've got pitching and defense, which is what you really need in baseball. They've got the best defensive third baseman this side of Nolan Arenado and Matt Chapman. They've got a great defensive first baseman in Matt Olson. They've got plenty of bats throughout their lineup in Sean Murphy, Raymond Laureano, Mark Canha, Mitch Moreland. I mean, they've got hitters up and down. And then their starting rotation is a great mixture of proven success and youngsters. Jesus Luzardo has been a top prospect for a while now, and he's shown flashes. AJ Puck has been a top prospect, and he's finally healthy. Sean Manaea was a dog until he had Tommy John surgery, and now he's finally 100%. And Chris Bassett last year had a 2.29 ERA. So I'm picking them. In the National League, this is where the fun begins, because this is where, in my opinion, the 3 best teams in baseball are. Padres, Dodgers, Braves. Now, who is coming out of the National League out of those 3 teams? For my money, it's got to be Atlanta. It has to be, because they've got the reigning NL MVP. They've got, I would argue, the one player that you have to build around when you talk about young players when it comes to Ronald Acuna. I know everybody wants to hop on this Tatis bandwagon, but let's calm down now. We've seen Acuna do this. You're going to see leaps. I'm predicting now you're going to see leaps this year from Dansby Swanson and Austin Riley. They're both going to fulfill that superstar potential. And that 5-man rotation, everybody talks about the Dodgers and the Padres rotation. I don't know if I want to see a rotation of Max Fried, Mike Soroka, Ian Anderson, Charlie Morton, and Drew Smiley / Kyle Wright. I'm telling you, that's a 5-man deep rotation. I don't want to see them. So give me Atlanta, Oakland. That's where I'm going with this.
I actually chose the Yankees because although you say they're injury prone, when you look at those people that you named, like you have Corey, you have you have Jameson Taillon, you have Carlos Stanton and Aaron Judge, and they're both powerful hitters, of course, when they're healthy. And they have Luis Severino, Garrett Cole, and they have a really good rotation in a lineup. So I know you talked about their health or whatever, but if they do come back full swing. See what I did there? But if they do come back full swing, obviously they have a lot of talent and they have a chance to make it there. Now, obviously, I am choosing for my second team. I am choosing the Dodgers because they have so much depth and they have the exact same team that they won with. A majority of the team, they have the exact same team that they won the championship with. Everything, including the lineup, the rotation, the bullpen, and everything. They have multiple Cy Young Award winners. When you look at their rotation, they have Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, Tony Gonzalez, and when you look at David Price, he opted out in 2020. However, he is also coming back, so he could have an impact on the rotation as well. In the outfield, you have Chris Taylor. He's interchangeable. You could play him with the left or you play him at center. You have Cody Bellinger and Mookie Betts, and many people would say that he was the missing piece that really put the Dodgers where they were. And also, on top of all of that, of them having so much depth, they added Trevor Bauer. They added Trevor Bauer, the top pitcher in the free agent market. They re-signed Justin Turner and Blake Trinan, and they traded for Corey Knebel. They traded for Corey Knebel, and he played very well with the Brewers. So I think they're going back to back. So yeah.
I love the Dodgers as well, but you gotta look at this. I'm gonna go past my Atlanta hating ways for this one segment here. The rest of these Atlanta teams around here, they're sickening to me. When you look at what the Braves can do, especially with the hitting power and just the full capability of this team, I believe they'll be able to get out of the NLC this year. And they showed us they were fully capable of beating the Dodgers last year. They just blew the lead in Atlanta fashion. You look at Freddie Freeman coming off an MVP season, young star Ronald Acuna, and their ability to pitch. You know what I'm saying? Their bullpen of the Atlanta Braves is nothing to mess around with. You got Max Fried, you got Ian Anderson, and Soka out there. So basically, is going off of what Josh just said. I believe the Braves are coming out of the NLC. When it comes to the ALC, it is shallow, but I am picking the White Sox to come out. I think the collection of new guys and veterans is going to be something to actually see. You got Jose Alvarez, who finished as the MVP in the was it the American League?
Jose Abreu?
Yeah, my bad. I mispronounced that. Yeah. And he was second in home runs, first in RBIs with 60. He's definitely a problem. And on metrics, this team was sixth best when it comes to hitting the ball, and they can pitch just as well. They finished top 10 in runs allowed. And you look at a guy Liam Hendricks only giving up 2 home runs the entire season last year, and Lance Lynn. This team can pitch and they can hit the ball really well. So my 2 teams coming out will be the Braves and the White Sox.
Like I said, man, I just don't trust the White Sox because of the managerial dysfunction. Especially with Tony coming off a DUI, I think that's going to hurt him as well.
It's a weird season.
I don't know why. I respect Tony La Russa. What do we record these shows in?
English, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I respect Tony La Russa, but I think baseball's passed him by. It's more of a marketing of players now, and the players can be themselves. And he played when players were supposed to shut up and swing.
That is going to wrap up our show for today, guys. Do you have anything to say?
You have anything to say? Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. I will continue to bother you guys about this until you do it. And if you share the video and you can prove to me that you shared the video and got somebody to subscribe, I will personally cash app you $1. You have to show proof of purchase. You have to show proof of subscription.
Where we at now?
Send that to me. This is called advertising, baby. I will personally cash app you $1.
I don't know how we're gonna do with that, but to end the show okay.
Sorry.
But to end the show on a serious note, 8 people of Asian descent were slayed. I want to say either yesterday or earlier this morning in Atlanta, and it just shows that. Well, because it was a Caucasian person doing the shooting.
It was.
And it just shows that, no matter what pigment, it's not just a black thing, it's not an Asian thing, it's not a Hispanic thing. America's not necessarily looking out for you guys, and it is a target on your back if you have pigment on your skin. And as much as we want to riot and march and cause change, nothing has changed in the past century that has progressed us as people. So to all of my people, not just Asian, but black and any other pigment, hey, watch out for yourselves out here, because America is something different.
Yeah, we play it all in night. Yeah, need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind all the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass, we coming in, take over everything, run it up, nothing holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm a face. And when I roll a paper, I like to go double. Run up a check, flip a W, make it an M. I need